Shalom, all praise and glory to Yahweh, Bashim Yahushua, Bashim Kakadash. Double honors to the other apostles, great millstone, citation I can teach all truth and sincerity. It's gonna be called Immortality Will Happen for the Israelites. The only immortals in the kingdom are gonna be the Israelites, the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. You heathens are not gonna be immortal. You're gonna stay mortal in these wicked fleshly bodies, while the Israelites become go from mortal to being immortal into a superhuman extraterrestrial body that can never die. You know, and that's the definition of being immortal, is that you never die. You live forever. You know. This is 1 Corinthians 15 and verse 51. It says, "Behold, I show you a mystery. We shall not all sleep, but we shall be changed in a moment and twinkling of an eye, at the last trump. For the trump shall sound, and the dead shall be raised incorruptible, and we shall be changed." Yeah, the the children of Israel are gonna be raised incorruptible, get incorruptible, immortal, extraterrestrial bodies. Never dying. Um, because in these fleshly bodies can be corrupted. They're corruptible bodies, but we're gonna get incorruptible, immortal bodies. Read verse 53. For this corruptible must put on incorruption, and this mortal put on immortality. We're gonna receive an incorrupted, immortal body, which will never go off again. It will be 100% righteous. That's why it says in Isaiah 60, verse 20 or 21 or 22, it says, "My people shall be all righteous; they shall inherit the land forever." And let me get that right quick. This is um, this is Isaiah 60, verse 21. "Thy people also shall be all righteous; they shall inherit the land forever. The branch of my planting, the work of my hand, that I may be glorified." Yeah, because he's going to change the children of Israel from being mortal, from being unbeautiful, from being old, to be looking youthful, to looking gloriously beautiful, from the men to the women. Not just the women, it's going to be men that are going to be extremely handsome. So extremely handsome that it's going to be a line of women for that particular man. And for each man, not just one man, but each man of Israel. There's going to be a line of women, from the heathens to the Israelite women, waiting for him um, to deal with them on that day, or the day after that day, or that after that week. There's going to be a line of gang of women trying to get an Israelite man, because we're not gonna look the same. On this side, you know, Jake will either come handsome, or you know, what's the word? Will come handsome, or come what's the word? Will come handsome, or have some blemishes on there. It's the same way. It's the same way with the women. A woman will come extremely beautiful, and then another woman will come having blemishes on her looks. You know, either you're in between handsome and ugly, or you know, or you're the ideal exception, because you know But anyway, not to completely go off topic, the the Israelites are going to be changed to being a glorious look. We're not going to look the same in the future to come. Um, but to continue reading, this is where I left off from read 1 Corinthians 15 verse 53. It says, "For this corruptible must put on incorruption, this mortal put on immortality must put on immortality. So when this corruptible shall put on incorruption, this mortal shall put on immortality, then shall be brought to pass the saying that is written, death is swallowed up in victory." So when we're given those incorruptible, um, immortal bodies, there's no more death for the Israelites. Only death that's going to go down is going to be upon the heathen, because they're going to be in these fleshly bodies that are mortal, and anything that's mortal is going to die. But anything that's immortal is never going to die, and that's the Israelites. The Israelites are going to be the only nation on the earth that's going to be immortal, while the rest of you heathen nations will be mortal, and you're going to die. But the Israelites are not going to die in the future. You know, read verse 55. O death, where is thy sting? O grave, where is thy victory? The sting of death is sin, and the strength of sin is the law. Um, okay. Yeah. Let me read that over again. This is 1 Corinthians 15 and verse 56. The sting of death is sin, and the strength of sin is the law. And because we're gonna law, statute, commandments written in our inward parts, so we're never gonna die. Once the law, statute, commandments written in our inward parts, and we're given those new bodies, which are incorruptible and are immortal, which are going to be extraterrestrial bodies, superhuman bodies that are going to be totally out of this world. We're going to be freakishly tall. Our strength, our ancient strength is going to be given back to us. We're not going to be no frail, weak individuals once we're given those new bodies. And our spirit is going to be able to dwell and operate to its full extent in those new bodies. In this body, our spirits are weighed down. We can't really operate like we should if we had like a body that was suited for our spirits. Because if this body would operate as it should, we would have different abilities that would show. We don't. But anyway, not to go off topic, but I'm gonna go to Revelations. Go to Revelations 21 and verse 4. Revelation 21 verse 4 says, "And Yahweh and power shall wipe away all tears from their eyes, and there shall be no more death, neither sorrow nor crying, neither shall be any more pain, for the former things are passed away." So we're not gonna cry. We're not gonna what's the word? Have any illnesses, no more death, no sorrow. We're not gonna get sick. We're not gonna have any pain. Like in the kingdom, a woman who's pregnant, pregnancy is not gonna feel. It's not gonna have no birth pains anymore for the Israelite woman. Um, all our sorrows will be washed away, wiped away on this side. Once we receive the kingdom, because everything that when Yahweh Shai comes back, he's going to restore everything that we lost, and he's going to give us back everything 100 times over. Everything that we lost on this side, we're going to receive it back 100 times over. If we lost family, we're going to receive abundance of children and abundance of wives, and abundance of land and different gifts that we lost and different things that we sacrificed for it. We're all gonna get that back. Read verse 5. He that sat upon the throne said, "Behold, I make all things new." He said unto me, "Write, for these words are true and faithful." So, um, because everything we lose on this side, we're gonna receive it right back 100 times over. Read Wisdom of Solomon, uh, chapter 3, verse 1. It's Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 3, verse 1. It says, "But the souls of the righteous are in the hand of the Lord, of Yahweh, and there shall no torment touch them. In the sight of the wise, they seem to die, and their departure is taken from misery." Because in the sight of these wicked people, the men of the Lord may, he may perish. He may end up getting killed. But um, the reward for the men of the Lord are far greater than you can imagine. On this side, what that person can imagine. Whatever Yahweh Shai has in store for you, whether it be good or bad, you know, if you sacrificed for him and you are a faithful servant for him, whatever he has a wondrous reward for you. But if you were wicked, judgment is going to come to you, but if you've been laboring in the truth, doing the work of the Lord, sacrificing your life for this truth, week in, week out, the reward that is prepared for you is far exceeds what's on this side, what anybody can imagine. I read verse 3. It says, "And they're going from us to be utter destruction, but they are in peace." It says, "For though they be punished in the sight of men, yet is their hope full of immortality." Yeah, because our hope is in immortality. Our faith and hope and trust that if we endure to the end, we're going to receive immortality. We're going to receive a wondrous reward in the future. It says, "And having been a little chastised, they shall be greatly rewarded. For Yahweh proved them and found them worthy for himself. As gold is in the furnace, had he tried them and received them as a burnt offering. And in the time of their visitation, they shall shine and run to and fro like sparks among the stubble. They shall judge the nations and have dominion over the people, and their power and their Lord shall reign forever." Because Yahweh Shai, he's gonna rule in Israel alongside, with King David by his side. Because Yahweh Shai is going to sit on the throne and King David's going to sit on the throne below him, and along with the rest of the 144,000, it says they that put their trust in him shall understand the truth. Such as be faithful in love shall abide with him, for grace and mercy is to his saints. He hath cared for his elect. Because the election of the nation of Israel, the house of David, is the governing body that's going to be the heads of in the kingdom of heaven. Um, I'm gonna go to first Acts. Go to Acts. I believe chapter 1 and verse 8. This is Acts chapter 1 verse 8. It says, "But ye shall receive power that after that the Holy Spirit is come upon you, and ye shall be witnesses unto me both in Jerusalem and all Judea and in Samaria and the uttermost parts of the earth." because the men of the Lord are going to receive spiritual power, have spiritual power going to come to pass pretty soon, and they're going to be bring down the society, and spiritual power is going to be needed in these chaotic, evil times to come. When all hell breaks loose and shit hits the fan over here in Babylon and across the world, spiritual power is going to be needed, and that prophecy is going to come to pass. The Israelites are going to receive spiritual power to come against this devil, which is Esau Edom, which is the red Hebrew Edomite, the so-called white man, which he's really red, he's not white. You know, read verse 9. And when he had spoken these things, while they beheld, he was taken up, and a cloud received him out of their sight. While they looked steadfastly towards heaven as he went up, behold, two men stood by them in white apparel, and these two men were angels. And it says, which also say, ye men of Galilee, why stand ye gazing up into heaven? This same Yahushai, which is taken up from you in heaven, shall so come in like manner as ye have seen him go into heaven. So he's gonna come back in a big, big chariot, a big fathership to deliver the elect, to beam up the elect from the destruction that's gonna come upon Babylon in that day. We go to 1 Thessalonians 4 verse 14. It's 1 Thessalonians 4 verse 14 says, for if we believe that Yahushua died and rose again, even so them also which sleep in Yahushua will God bring with him. For this will we say unto you, that the word of the Lord, that we which are alive and remain unto the coming of the Lord shall not prevent them which are asleep. So those that die in the truth, they're gonna be raised up with they're gonna be on the chariot with Yahushua when he comes back. They're gonna be raised up with the rest of they're gonna be raised first before the rest of the elect is raised, and they're gonna be with Yahushua when he comes back in the chariot already. Read verse 16. For the Lord himself shall descend from heaven with a shout, with the voice of the archangel and the trumpet of the Most High, and the dead in Yahushua, the dead in Hamashiach shall rise first. Then we which are alive and remain shall be caught up together with them in the clouds to meet the Lord in the air, and so shall we ever be with the Lord. Wherefore comfort one another with these words, and the comfort is these scriptures, because this is going to happen pretty soon. Because the Israelites, pretty soon everybody's going to know who are the children of Israel, who is the Lord dealing with, and who who is salvation for. It's not for everybody. It's only for the children of Israel, the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Americans. All the heathens that are not Israelites, they're gonna go into captivity. That's their lot in the future. That's their end. That's their position in the kingdom of heaven. Anyway, I'm gonna say all praise and glory to Yahweh Bashem Yashai, Bashem Kakadash. Double honors to the elder apostle, great millstone. Citation I can teach all truth and sincerity. Shalom.